Your success is defined and expanded by how many people can you bring into it. See, the mistake people make is they think that their work is only limited to their workspace, to their office. It's not, because the person who goes to work is a person who's left his house, and what happens at your house will impact your work. Today, the work pressures are rising. There is so much stress, there is so much competition that I don't know how people survive it. And it would be so nice if you had more people rooting for you, if you had more people supporting you, if you had more people, being a part of your peace, of your understanding. Then it brings more power and strength to go back to work with renewed vigor. And that source is your family. Include your family in your purpose. Include them in your work. Don't draw a line and say, okay, this is work and this is family life and they should not know anything. How will they support you if they don't know anything? And I feel as a senior, as the management, you also have a responsibility to connect the family of your employees and teams to their work. History has shown that legacies are built not just on the professionals, but also on the support the professionals have from their families. Late Sri O.P. Munjal, he was the founder of the Hero Group. By God, how did he build a legacy that still lasts and will continue to last long after he has gone? It's the people. And how do people continue? How can people continue if their families are not included in it? That man knew every single person's name, not just their name. He knew the spouse's name. He knew their children's name. He knew what they were doing. And this is a common trait that I have found in good and great leaders who've made an impact, who you admire, who are worthy of adulation, that they were able to connect the families of the professionals to their work. I'll give you an example. I'm writing Mr. A.M. Naik's book. He's the group chairman of Larsen and Toubro. So he was doing an interview one time. It was late evening with a teacher for one of his schools. And he just asked her, what does your husband do? So she said what the husband does, and she said he's waiting down. She just mentioned it in the flow of the conversation. He's waiting down. And he said, why is he waiting down? Why don't you call him up? The man was waiting, perhaps on the sidewalk or what, or wherever he was. He said, call him. Now imagine the group chairman calls the husband of the lady into the meeting. He's sitting at the back and the interview is going on. That man will support her no matter what, because the management cared enough to include the family, to give them the respect and say, come sit with us, because your wife is going to come to work, right? Your wife is going to be in your custody when she goes back home. We want her coming back in optimum condition the next day, and that cannot happen if you do not support her purpose, if you do not stand up for her when she's troubled and there is tension and there is stress and, the demands and the expectations. It goes such a long way in adding to the person's productivity. I do so many conferences and they call sometimes the spouses for the celebrations and so on. All that is good. It's good to see what people have done. But it would be also a smart idea to have the spouses and the family network with the professionals, with the team members, that, oh, this is the boss, this is his peer, this is where he sits. So that people have a visual, they have an understanding of what you do. And while that is what the management should do to build a better, solid base of support, when you go home, discuss your work. If something is troubling you, ask. Build your family into your purpose. That imagine you go home one day and your son asks you, Dad, how was that meeting? Now that is involvement to another level. So when you're working, he's supporting you. He knows what you're doing and he respects you. It goes, like I said, a long way to add to your peace, to your happiness, to your productivity, and your success will be their success. When you have a hand in support of anybody's job, You feel a party to their success. And if that can be the impact of what you do, then my friend, your work life will be so superbly balanced with your personal and your home life.